Hi everyone, my name is Johanna O'Hara. I am doing my presentation for TESL101. I am doing Suggestopedia. It has taken me a couple times to not say encyclopedia. As you can see, it is similar spelling, again, Suggestopedia. It is a language learning method that we will be learning in TESL 101. Through my presentation, I am going to be doing definition, features, strengths, weaknesses, and a little example activity that you could use if this is a teaching method that you feel would be good in your classroom. So first off, let's start with the definition. A Suggestopedia is like a calming experience in the classroom, making it more enjoyable to be in, a more calming environment. This was developed by the educator Georgi Lozenzo. I have tried to say this name so many times, so I do apologize. I have butchered it, and I will work on that. It is Giorgio Lozenzo, and it is designed to enhance the learning by reducing psychological barriers. So in making sure that you are in a calm space, when our brains are all over the place, it's hard for us to take in information. So this kind of creates a relaxing environment, soothes the mind, and gets you in that place to be ready to learn a new language. Suggestopedia uses suggestions in retention, more of planting the seed and having it bloom. So this is how we get that, again, relaxed feeling and watching it grow, and we can do it that way. So that's the definition of that. And the features and characteristics, I'm going to go through a couple of these. I think I have about 5 or 6 points that I wanted to go over, and it just kind of helps you understand what this can look like in your classroom if this is something you do choose to use as a method. So again, we're going to go back to relaxed atmosphere, which is, imagine your classroom is cozy, you're almost like in your living room, you're in a calming area, wherever that might be. It might be in your garden, since we're in a nice outside area. Again, soothing music, a pleasant place, everywhere where the stress just melts away. And again, we're going to go with the learning of how a student can absorb information, which is always going to be a more calm mind. I know for myself, I retain that information. So to have my classroom being like this, it makes sense to have our whole classroom and our environments being in a calm situation. Maybe, I know I work at the school board myself, and I see one teacher particularly, her room actually is always dark, and she uses night lamps around, which kind of gets the calmness. It's beautifully decorated in there. She's done a great job, and it kind of just brings in the natural light, which is what we generally need. We don't need fluorescent lighting to make us feel in a calm space to learn a new language. So again, another part of Suggestopedia is positive suggestions. So it's positive reinforcement, encouraging your learners, giving your learners a confidence and building that confidence for them, and having a relaxing space kind of gets you that good vibe of going back and forth with each other. Now, another aspect of this is rhythm. So this was the interesting part for me when I was learning about this method. The use of specific rhythm patterns is a key way of learning. So I know for myself, I'm more of a writer. I write things over and over and over again. But this was kind of a neat idea in the method of, if you do it to a catchy tune, if you do it to, I know for my kindergarten class that I hear every single day outside of my office, they do something, for instance, January, February, March, April, May, and I heard that song over and over, and even when I'm saying what the month is, I'm thinking that. So it's a similar aspect. Putting that little tone to it does help the rhythm of learning. And it makes sense if you think you're in a calm environment, you have the same rhythm, you have a repetitive situation happening, it works. So this is where you can also, in the aspect of this, is where you can bring in art and music. Now, integrating classical music while you're learning is supposed to stimulate the mind and create a more enjoyable learning experience. Much like when people are trying to find inspiration, it's a similar situation where we're trying to learn a new language or teaching a new language. Excuse me. Teaching a new language and just understanding, having that classical music, it brings the tensions down, gives you that calm feeling, and it moves on to a great learning experience. So the strengths of this method would be, in Suggestopedia, can be seen as the learning process of it's speeding things along a little bit quicker. It's reducing the anxiety of everything. It's creating a low stress environment. It's like, for once, it's like going for a massage. I mean, we all can enjoy that. We all can understand that calming feeling. And just understanding that our learners need to be in that calm feeling. If we're in a stressful position when we're learning something, we generally don't retain it. It's the same when we're crash coursing for learning or doing our test. We were given a test, pop quiz. You have 15 minutes to learn everything. Well, you're not going to. You might memorize it for that minute and it's gone. That's not what we want. We want our learners to understand and remember everything that we're teaching them and absorb it and enjoy it. This is the whole point, is enjoying teaching. So in another part of this Suggestopedia is a holistic approach to learning and the method of this. And what I wrote down here is that the learning style is like taking in all of the senses. So sight, as in everything should be a calming, like in a darker room with natural light. The sounds around us should be calming, which would be like either classical music or something as in like nature sounds, something along those lines. And just they also had suggested, when I was reading about this as well, as a smell. So a light smell, if you're able to, is like an essential oils, if that's something. So very holistic, very spiritual almost approach to teaching. Excuse me again. So, of course, with every strength, there might become a weakness. So I did go over some of the weaknesses here, which would be, unfortunately, there's just a lack of scientific evidence at this point when researching this. It's more of a trial and error. This is what someone said worked for them, but there's no science behind all of this. So that was the unfortunate part about reading this. I thought maybe Suggestopedia would have more of a scientific background, and unfortunately there just wasn't too much there. It requires highly trained and charismatic teachers, much like someone said, like a magic show. When I was reading about it and I was doing research, it's like you have to have all of these little things and ready, and you have to be in control of your voice the entire time as well. So that's kind of that's a weakness there, because not all the time can you speak the same all the time. Just like during this presentation, I'm sure my voice has gone up, it's gone down. It's not this calm situation at all times. So another one, which was huge, I found, for the weakness, unfortunately, was like a cultural aspect of this. Some music is not going to resonate with others across all different cultures, which is what they were saying, is using classical music specifically. It's just maybe not going to transpire to different cultures. And I mean, when we're teaching ESL, we're thinking multicultural. We are trying to make sure that we are educating everyone and being as unbiased as possible. So maybe not having that, it might not work. Another thing I wanted to go over was an example activity of Suggestopedia. So one of the activities came to mind, I was trying to play around, and I even bounced off some of the ideas with one of my teachers, was kind of, it's basically doing a vocabulary enrichment through Suggestopedia. To learn and retain new vocabulary in a stress-free environment, like floating on a serene lake of knowledge. So basically, all you will need is comfortable seating, soft classical music, vocabulary list, visual aids like posters and pictures, and a script for reading. What you want to do to prep your classroom would be arrange the room in comfortable way and so everyone can see the visual aids, and creating an oasis of learning. Playing soft classical music in the background, setting the mood like a soundtrack in a calming movie scene. Okay, so what we would do is we would read the vocabulary list, usually with a rhythm of some sort, much like a storyteller or like a poem type of thing. So we're going back and forth and we're getting that repetitiveness there with the rhythm attached. As well, when we're doing this, we're showing the visual aids that we're trying to describe, and we're going through it in a calm, cool manner. So this would include the students repeating the words over in a repetitive motion, just like almost like a choir listening to their instructor. And then at the end of it, we would discuss the vocabulary and we would do a friendly back and forth and what we felt worked and what we felt didn't, maybe. So that was basically the activity. I hope you learned lots about Suggestopedia. I will get it. Suggestopedia. And if you have any questions, please ask in the comments below that we have a part of our little portal. And it was great to put a face to the name with all of you. All right, thanks. Bye.